Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? Let me make sure that my volume is up. Okay, I never actually know if that makes a difference, but I figured we're gonna do it. Welcome. I am so excited to be here with you today. And whether you're watching live or you are watching the replay, I have not been live in a while. This is fun. We got some fun people hopping on. Hi, Jess. Hi, Angela. Good to see you all. I wanted to come on today and chat a little bit. Well, we're going to chat about the masterminds. We're going to chat about, okay, good. Jess, thank you for letting me know. Again, it's been a minute. I used to do a live stream every single day, and I haven't done one in so long. And I was talking with my director of marketing the other day, and we're like, we should do a live stream about the mastermind. So we're doing it, and it's been a minute, but we're here, and this is fun, and it's all good. So we're going to talk a little bit about the mastermind, but I also, one of the things I want to do is, regardless of whether you are looking at joining our mastermind or not, really help you tap into what's next for you, your fullest potential. It is so big on my heart right now that, especially for us as women, that we get to make our own rules about time, about money, about how things work for us. And there has been I've had so much like personal growth and evolution in this, even over the past year. And to be where I am right now, and there's always growth, there's always expansion, there's always evolution. But to be in a place of feeling very grateful to be leading our company, growing and expanding into the multi-millions, while also raising 3 little kids, 5 and under, and being able to work part-time hours. Like, I say that simply because I think that there's a narrative and a story that a lot of women hold on to about you can't have it all, right? Women have been told, or women may think, like, I can't have a really successful, abundant, happy family life, be a great mom to my kids, and be a really successful entrepreneur or sales leader. And I want to help you rewrite the rules on that. And a lot of times we're just playing by an outdated playbook or by someone else's rules and thinking that the only way for me to be successful is if I'm going to work like a full, what are we told? You got to work 8-hour plus days, that you got to sacrifice a ton. You can't have, you can't be all in with your family and have a really successful business or sales career. And that is not the truth. It is not the truth. And I want to help you release any old ties to old ways of thinking or being. I think about even some of our women in corporate in our community who, when they first came in, were working really long hours, really long work weeks, and feeling like they weren't able to show up at home with their kids the way that they wanted to. And really learning this material, learning how to bend space and time, learning, we incorporate in our teachings and community and the mastermind, sales, science, and spirituality, learning these principles that allow them to collapse space and time with their goals and shrink a 50-hour work week down to a 30-hour work week or a 25-hour work week, have time with their kids, and be top of the leaderboard, receiving an award at President's Club, or going on trips, or women who are entrepreneurs, quantum leaping, growing their revenue while actually creating more time to be with their kids. And not everyone in our community is a mom or wants to be a mom, or is that we've got some great men in our community too. So not everyone is a parent, but I think I'm viewing a lot of things from my lens right now of being a mom and supporting a lot of other women who are either on that journey or wanting to be on that journey, to say that the old story gets to die, right? The old story gets to die. The old narrative gets to die. When I think about how I used to view work and view sales and view money making, it was so like the hustle and grind mentality. And give me like a heart, or give me a yes in the comments if you can relate to this, if you've been taught that before, that the only way that you can achieve big goals is you've got to hustle, you've got to grind, you've got to push all the time, that you can't have it all. And that's not the case, but that's how I lived and operated for so long. And that was also what kept me stuck and capped financially for over a decade. No matter how hard I worked, I was only able to bring in a certain amount of money, and it took working like 10, 12-hour days. And it wasn't until I had my son, and he was my first son, and he was 4 months old, where I was like, I've got to do something different here, because I wanted to make more money. I wanted to be able to retire my husband from his night shift respiratory therapy job so that he could go pursue his dream of being in medical school, which is what we're doing now. That's the path we're on. I wanted to be on bigger stages. I wanted to be leading in a bigger way. But it took a completely different approach to business that incorporated spirituality, wealth energetics, feminine energy, which, by the way, men can learn this too, and it's so powerful. I was working with one of my male private clients this morning on incorporating feminine energetics, and feminine energy is just flow. Like some people may have some weirdness around that word, it's just flow. So when you learn how to incorporate that, I don't care what your gender is, you will flow and shift differently in your business. You collapse timelines. Things that before would have taken so much longer take a lot less time. And so that when I learned these principles, and this is what we do in the mastermind, where we support really driven, ambitious, high achieving women, but who are like, there's gotta be a different way. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you feel plateaued. Maybe you feel like you're wrong for wanting more. Maybe you're already making 6 figures, multi 6 figures, and you're like, who am I to want to make 7 figures? Can I actually do that and still, be a great mom, be a great partner, live life, have a good lifestyle? And maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'd have to work so hard for that. It's not true. It is not true. I remember hearing a mentor say once, it's harder to make your first 6 figures than it is to make 7. It's 100% true. So I just want to help you rewrite the narrative and shift your perspective on what it's like to want more, to desire more, and open yourself up to receive more too. Let me see. There are some questions. Jess, I have 2 questions. Oh, hold on. I bailed on the 10K clubs. I got scared to spend them. Yeah, I remember that. Do you help women find their passion if they want to create their own business? Amazing. So, the other question, consistency piece. Okay. So do you help women find their passion if they want to create their own business? Here's what I would say with that. So what's been really interesting in our mastermind, we have, it's actually probably more women in corporate sales right now than entrepreneurs, which is interesting because our community as a whole is probably 60 to 70% entrepreneurs, I would say, maybe 60. And then the other percentage is women in corporate sales. I would say our mastermind is more women in corporate sales than entrepreneurs right now. But the interesting thing is I think every one of them has either a business that they have started as a result of being in the community in the mastermind, or they're working on it right now. So in terms of finding your passion, one of the things that we do in our programs, and we do this at the very beginning, is help you connect with the fullest expression of you. And so what that looks like is helping you really tap into your vision, really tap into what you came here on this planet to do, to be, releasing limiting beliefs. I think sometimes people come into the community, and that's whether they're in the mastermind or the 10K club or wherever, and they already feel very clear on that. I think other times people come in and they know there's something greater. I'm thinking about a woman in our mastermind right now, one woman in particular who came in about a year ago, and she was, in corporate seller. She knew that she wanted to do something greater, but it was still really vague and kind of nebulous. And it was fun because I'm doing some private coaching with her right now. And on our call a few days ago, she has such crystal clarity right now. It's still evolving, but from where I'm seeing, so much clarity on what it is that she wants to do and build. And she's building a personal brand in a really cool space. So we're going to help support her more in that. But so what I would say is, in terms of finding your passion, I think that if you don't feel clear on what that is right now, I think it would be difficult to be in this community and be in this material and not get clarity on that, unless you tried not to. I just think with the amount of support, with being in the energy of other women and some cool men who are going for it in that way, really releasing limiting beliefs and stepping into the fullness of who you are. And we provide a lot of materials around that, from belief rewiring, identity shifting, because that's really big. We talk about in the community, your results will never supersede your identity. And then of course, visioning, right? And I'm big, like I just this afternoon redid my vision board because I had honestly, it had been a while since I had updated it. And I took a look at it the other day and it was like, oh my gosh, a lot of the things that felt big for a long time, like having a 500K month, having an office space on the water, which we've been having fun sharing about here, those things that felt big, where I was like, oh, I don't know when they're going to happen. I was taking them off and it was really fun. And so I say all of that to say vision and tapping into your vision is such a foundational piece of all of the programs of what we do. And in the mastermind, when you come in, you have access to not just that and to me and the other women, but also to the 10K Club course, which has specific segmented content on visioning, goal setting and achievement, releasing limiting beliefs, etc. So I hope that answers that question. The other question is, how do you find the consistency piece? Because in corporate sales, I was so sporadic. So here's what I would ask is consistency in terms of what? In terms of revenue, in terms of habits. Let me know what you mean by that. And just give me a little bit more context in terms of consistency and what you're asking about there. Here's the thing that I would say with consistency. So we do a feminine and a masculine energy play in our community. And so the feminine energetics piece is really about tuning into your vision, tuning into your goals, and then using spiritual principles, wealth energetics, feminine energy to draw what you want to you. Simultaneously, we get to leverage masculine structure, which can be your CRM. It can be the habits you're doing every single day. Systems, like right now as we scale to 8 figures, the systems that supported us to get to 7, they don't quite work the same way. Fancy that. And that's okay, right? Because we've all heard what got you here won't get you there. A phone call coming in. Okay, there we go. So we get to create and build different systems to support us in where we're going next. And before this call, I got off a call, or before this call, oh my gosh, before this live, I got off a call with someone on my team who is our systems architect, and he's amazing, and he's building out all of our masculine energy systems, so I don't have to. So I appreciate that. But so with consistency, again, I think it just depends on what you mean by consistency. And do you mean consistency in your actions, or do you mean consistency in your results? You know, there's an element, I think if you're sporadic, your energy might be a little bit all over the place, perhaps, with what you're sharing. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. Again, I probably need a little more context for what you're asking. But one of the things that I know, and one of the qualities I've cultivated in myself, is like, I'm a disciplined woman, I'm a consistent woman. But the key is the energy you're taking the action in. So I used to be disciplined and consistent, but it was from an energy of not being good enough. It was from an energy of lack. It was from an energy of fear and scarcity. Does that make sense? And I'm getting a weird spam message about a PlayStation right now. I've never used a PlayStation. So all the actions I was taking were out of fear. They were out of feeling not good enough. They were out of it was always an energy of not enough. So it's very different. And Kathleen Cameron talks about this. I love this. She says, the energy in which you do a thing determines the outcome of the thing. So we can be consistent and disciplined in an energy of fear and lack, or we can be consistent and disciplined in an energy of, I know that my future's already here. I know that my vision's already here. I'm taking action every day to move the energy on what it is that I desire. But I know that as I do that, what I want is coming towards me as I move towards it. So I hope that makes sense. It's all It's all a mental game. And that's one of the things about the mastermind that I love and that I wanted to bring to women, was helping them get unstuck from plateaus or from any feeling of stuckness or not enoughness in their business or in their sales. Because when you remember who you really are, when you remember that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, when you remember that your desires are green lights and that your vision, your inspiration, your intuition, the way that I think about that, and I was coaching one of my male private clients on this morning, that like your desires are divine. They are of the divine. So whatever is coming through you, whether it's you want to be, you want to buy a home in Fiji or take your family on a trip there, or you, what else? You want to be top of the leaderboard. You want to have a certain amount of money in the bank, like all of those things. You want to launch a business. Maybe it's something, I'm feeling something like culinary cooking for someone in this community right now. I don't know what it is, but I feel that from someone here. Whatever it is for you, that is coming through because that is of the divine. That's how I think about it. God, source, universe, whatever your language is, that is why it's coming through you. And it is meant to happen. And so it's not about pushing it up the hill. It's not about forcing it, but it's about being available to expand, being available to become the person who does that. And then the actions that you're taking, I would look at, well, what actions would I be taking from the end result? And those become your daily actions now. Let me know if that makes sense based on your questions. Okay, good. Let me see. Okay, so and again, these are such great questions. If you are here live and you have a question on wealth energetics, on money, on masculine and feminine energy, or on the mastermind, we have enrollment open for the mastermind right now. Drop it in here. I'm happy to answer it. I just have to start clearing these notifications. But I wanted to share a little bit about why we have the mastermind, why I created it, about how to know if it's potentially the right fit for you or vice versa. And then if you want to apply, what that looks like. And so I created the mastermind in 2021, I believe, because when we originally launched the company, it was all about helping women break through six figures. And because that was what I had done before. I was like, well, that's easy. I can teach women to do that all day long. And then we had so many women doing that and doing that quickly. And they were like, okay, what's next? And for me personally too, what I started finding really exciting was more about helping women. So in our mastermind specifically, it is women, although we have we've got a great community of women and men in our programs, but the mastermind specifically is driven, ambitious women who are ready to go to their next level. I started getting really excited about helping women hit seven figures and beyond, because I saw the expansion that was available to them and what's different in life when you allow yourself to call in that much money and that many resources. And what I wanted to do, coming from a culture and a work culture where it was very masculine energy and nothing, I love masculine energy. When it's empowered masculine, it's beautiful, it's powerful. I love it. Okay, but when I say masculine energy work culture, what I mean by that is the places where I had been taught and trained sales and business growth were all about hustle, grind, push, competition. It was kind of bro culture. So I was like, there's got to be something different. And I had seen what a difference in results I had when I learned how to incorporate feminine energy, wealth energetics, spirituality into my business. I saw how that helped me turn my annual income into my monthly income in a short amount of time while working fewer hours. And I wanted to create a place where women could unapologetically go for what they wanted, whatever that is for you. Again, whether you're wanting to launch a business, you're already successful and you're like, I want to go to the next level, but maybe you feel like you're already kind of like the leader in your friends group or in your community. Maybe you're leading a team and everyone's already looking to you for answers. Everyone's looking to you to tell them what to do. And because our environment matters so much and proximity matters so much, if you are not in a circle of people who are at the level that you want to be at, or who are going to the level that you want to be at, you will drop down to the level of whoever and whatever's in your environment. Not making anyone wrong, simply stating that I think that most of the women, I think all the women in our mastermind are leaders. I think they're meant to be leaders. I think they're here because they're leaders. And it's so important to have people around you who normalize success at another level, who normalize talking about money too. I think that's really important. I talk about it all day long because that's a big part of our business and brand. But something I hear a lot is that that's not as common in other circles, or that it's not like people don't talk about it as normally and freely as we do. And I'm a really big believer and proponent in all of you making more money, right? And women being financially empowered to create life and business on their terms, do the things they want to do, not have to be dependent necessarily on anything or anyone outside of them. And it's not about not receiving support. It's not about being in our masculine energy, but it's about giving yourself permission to live life fully, giving yourself permission to buy the Louboutins and make the donation to the charity that you care about, giving yourself permission to really stand and shine and be on the stages or write the book or do the thing your heart is calling you to do. This is how I make all of the decisions in my life right now. As I think about at the end of my life, when I look back, what would I be most proud that I did? Who would I be most proud to have shown up as in my life? And when you make decisions from that place and from that lens, you will do the thing that often feels uncomfortable. It may feel uncomfortable to the old version of you, but you will also manifest your wildest dreams. And that's what's most exciting. And that's what I care about for the members of this community. So for the mastermind, this is for you. If you are a driven, ambitious, high achieving woman, you're in corporate sales or you're an entrepreneur, I would say you're already doing what a lot of people would consider is you're doing pretty well. So maybe you're already making 6 figures, low 6 figures, something like that, close to it. But you're like, you know what? I know that there's so much more. I know that there's got to be another way. Like maybe you feel like you're in some push energy right now. You're in some grind energy right now. Things feel hard. They feel heavy. You want to go to another level. And maybe you don't even have people around you like supporting you to tell you that you can go to another level. Maybe your partner is kind of just consistently doing the same thing. Or, maybe doesn't love your love of personal development or spirituality the same way that you do. Maybe your boss, if you're in corporate sales, like your boss is kind of breathing down your neck about your results and quota and this and that. We actually have a corporate sales mastermind in our community and Laura, I think Laura's on here. She leads the corporate sales mastermind and does a beautiful job of it, because we wanted to create a space for women in corporate in particular to be supported. And like, how do you talk to your boss about these things when you are crushing it, but they don't understand how, because you're not working the same hours as everyone else. So anyway, I say all of that to say it is a mastermind for women who want to go to the next level, who are ready to ascend, who are ready to make great money, high 6 figures, million, multi-millions, etc. But you have a life. You want to have a life. You want to do things a different way. Maybe you have kids or you want to have kids and you're like, I don't have 40 hours a week to work, nor do I want to. I do not work full work days. My team knows I work in weird times a lot of times because of our kids' schedule. And I work, like I show up, I do the thing, but the only time I'm working an 8-hour day these days is if there's like a client intensive or an event I'm speaking at. That's really it. And that came from a lot of disentangling old money rules, old money stories I had told myself about how hard I had to work to be worthy of success. We have to disentangle those. We also have to disentangle the narrative about time and money being interlinked. It's not true. All right. It's not true. So you get to create your own rules, but it's a place for women who want support, community, networking, high level teaching, wealth energy. Like it's very high level, for you to be able to achieve bigger goals than you ever thought possible in less time than you ever thought possible, and to feel very differently about it. One of our members of our mastermind recently, she's remodeling her entire home, and she thought this was going to be, I think, several years out when she entered the mastermind. She's done it now within the first year. And what's been so beautiful listening to her talk, she's a financial advisor, her relationship with money and with circulating the money as she remodels her home, it is so different than it would have been prior to the mastermind. And so just to watch her ascend, to watch her grow, to watch her soak up these principles, it's been so beautiful. And so again, I wanted to create a space where you could have the support, the sisterhood, the camaraderie to where like no dream is too big. Nothing is too large. You are not too big. You may feel in other circles like you've got to kind of like shrink, or like you can't be fully you. Women support each other in really big ways in this group in terms of achieving next level money goals, celebrating each other's successes, being there for each other if there's a loss or a death or a challenge that someone's bumping up against. And I think the message that's coming through for everyone who's here live today is just to really remember you don't have to go it alone. Like you don't have to do it alone, and that you're worthy of support. And a lot of times if we're trying to do something alone, we're kind of secretly hiding. We're like, oh, I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want anyone to really see me. Or you think you've got to do it all on your own, and you don't. And you will ascend and quantum leap so much faster when you're in community and proximity with other women who are doing this. And so the mastermind is application. We're taking applications now. If you are interested in applying, you can comment or DM me the word mastermind and we'll chat about it. I'll send you the link for how to apply. We'll get to know each other and talk through what it looks like. But there's monthly calls a couple times a month. You also have access to my 10K Club signature program, which has this entire framework and blueprint for quantum leaping in it. You can apply it to any income target or level that you want. And you actually have lifetime access to that as well. There's events included. There's guest mentorship. There's a shared communication thread in between calls where you have access to me, the team in between for support, for coaching, etc. And it's a really beautiful group. So we are very specific about who comes into that mastermind. The women who are in there right now are amazing. And what I would say is if this is speaking to you, if you're really ready for next level results as we go into the end of the year in 2026, then let's have a conversation. Again, we'll talk about it. Let's see. We'll talk about what it looks like. We'll talk about your vision, your goals, and how we can help support you in that and see if it's a good fit. So DM or comment the word mastermind. Would love to connect and hear more about your vision and your goals and how we can help support you. And I appreciate you being here. So whether you were here live or watching the replay, I hope this spoke to you. And let's connect. We'd love to talk about it. Again, this month we are open for enrollment. So we'd love to chat more. Have an amazing rest of your afternoon. See you soon.